Good morning, fourth grade. We're going to continue reading in Where the Mountain Meets the Moon. Best book ever. As we're reading chapter 14, we're going to use our CSPS strategy so that we can monitor our thinking. We have a quick write for you today. We want you to answer this question. Have you ever been in a situation where you didn't know what to do? Describe the situation. So take a moment to silently write 2 to 3 sentences about a time when you didn't know what to do. Press pause to write down your answer and play when you're ready for the focus question. It says, how do characters respond to challenge? What is the theme of the text? So we are going to be looking for how Minli and Dragon try to solve their problem and what this reveals about them as characters. Our vocabulary words for today are bribe. That's when you try to persuade someone with gifts or money. Greedy. That is when you are really selfish and you want wealth and power. So you draw a line to this picture. And then shriek, that is a high-pitched sound signaling like terror or pain. Could also be excitement. Make sure you have your lines drawn to each picture so you get full credit. And we want you to turn to page 74 as we continue reading chapter 14. And remember, we're underlining evidence for the character, setting, problem, and solution. I'm at Minli and the Dragon. Minli and the Dragon had sat in the clearing and made camp for the night. As the sun fell and the moon rose, the Dragon showed her how he could make sparks by scratching his claws against a stone, and they built a small campfire. As Minli and the Dragon made no moves to go farther into the forest, the monkeys had quieted down, but they still watched. And if we stop right here, we have a lot of evidence in this paragraph for the setting. And so in box, I would underline this and write S out beside it because it lets me know that Minli and Dragon are in the forest close to the peach grove. And in box 2, I would write Minli and Dragon are in a clearing in the forest close to the peach grove. Press pause to write down your answer and play when you're ready for the quote. And we would write down this quote, that's the first line of chapter 14. Minli and the Dragon had sat in the clearing and made camp for the night. Silently write that down in the second part of box 2. Press pause to write down your answer and play when you're ready to keep reading. I'm at the bottom of page 74. There are plenty of peaches for all, Dragon said. Those monkeys do not have to be so greedy. Really? Minli asked. Yes, Dragon said. The monkeys are so foolish. They just want more and more even when they do not need it. I have seen them refuse to let go of rotten mushrooms and fight over piles of mud. If I stop right there, Dragon gives us a lot of information about the monkeys. And so in box 1 for character, I would write Dragon tells Minli how greedy and foolish the monkeys are. Press pause to write down your answer and play when you're ready for the quote. And you could write down this quote that says, yes, Dragon said, the monkeys are so foolish. And make sure you have this underlined with a CL beside it in your text. Press pause to write down your answer and play when you're ready to keep reading. I'm at page 75 at those words. At those words, Minli sat up and her eyes flashed with quick thinking. Piles of mud. Suddenly, Minli remembered the 2 children fighting over their piles of mud as she left her village. Instead of going inside for dinner, the children had clung to their pretend dishes of dirt. They were so foolish. Could the monkeys be that foolish? They were too selfish for trading our bribes. But maybe they were so greedy that they could be foolish enough to be tricked. Maybe if she... I'm going to make rice, Minli said abruptly. And we will stop right there. We're thinking about what is the biggest problem, and we kind of have to make an inference here, right? We need to think about, why does Minli want to trick these monkeys? And we know she wants to trick the monkeys because she has to get through the peach grove to get to the city of bright moonlight so that she can get what she needs to see the old man of the moon. And so in box 3, we would write Minli and Dragon cannot get through the peach grove, which is on their way to Never-Ending Mountain. Press pause to write down your answer and play when you're ready for the quote. And we would write down this quote that says, but maybe they were so greedy that they could be foolish enough to be tricked. Press pause to write down the quote in box 3 and play when you're ready to keep reading. I'm at the bottom of page 75. Oh, the dragon said, you must be hungry. Too bad we cannot get some peaches. One-track mind, guys. It's not for me, Minli said, and she smiled mysteriously. It's for the monkeys. The monkeys? The dragon said. Why, if you mean it as a gift or a way to bribe them, it will not work. They will take it and eat it, but will still not let you through. Turn the page. That is what I'm expecting, Minli said, as she filled her pot with water and uncooked rice. She was bursting to tell Dragon her idea, but wasn't sure how much the monkeys understood of their words. She looked at him with sparkling eyes, but he only stared back blankly. You are? The dragon said. I don't understand. Don't worry, Minli said, and with her eagerness she felt like the water she was boiling. I think I know how we can pass the monkeys. The dragon watched as Minli stirred the big pot of rice through the rising stream, and he could see the beady eyes of all the monkeys glittering through the branches like hundreds of diamonds as they watched as well. The monkeys are watching, he whispered to Minli. Good, she whispered back. I hope they are. When the rice was done, the pot was overflowing with snowy white rice. It was so heavy to take it off the fire to cool, she had to ask Dragon to move it for her. Minli had the dragon place it very close to the trees where the monkeys were watching. Then Minli tied her fishnet over the rice and pot. As Minli and the dragons turned away, they could hear the monkeys chattering. That fishnet will not stop the monkeys from taking the rice, the dragon said. It is tightly woven, but their hands will probably fit through. I know, Minli said, as she put out the fire. Let's pretend we think the rice is safe and we are letting it cool. Though puzzled, the dragon nodded. They placed themselves a far distance from the rice, yet still within sight, put out the fire, and pretended to go to sleep. But Minli could not help peeking. Though she tried to lie still, she was filled with excitement. Would her plan work? Would the monkeys take the rice? In the bright light of the moon, the monkeys glanced shyly at them and stole over to the rice. The dragon was right. Just like he said, the fishnet could not keep the monkeys from the rice. Their slender hands slid through the holes of the fishnet and each grabbed 2 big handfuls of rice. But as the monkeys tried to carry the rice away, the net caught them. And make sure you underline this at the bottom of page 77. The holes in the net were large enough, turn the page, for their empty hands to fit through, but not large enough for their full fist. The monkeys screamed and pulled, and Minli and the dragon no longer pretended to be asleep. They couldn't help laughing as they watched the monkeys struggling to punch the air and each other with their trapped fists. Minli quickly packed her things, and the monkeys screeched and shrieked as they passed. The heavy pot of rice shook as the monkeys fought violently to get free. But the fishnet was strong and well woven, and since the monkeys were too greedy to let go of the rice, Minli and Dragon entered the peach grove and continued through the forest. All right, so we would underline that last part of page 78 that shows us our solution. And in box 4, we would write, Minli boils rice. When the monkeys come to get the rice, she throws the net over them. They are trapped because they won't unclench their fists full of rice in order to get out. Press pause to write down your answer and play when you're ready for the quote. Okay, and so then for the quote, we would write down this last sentence on page 78 that shows how she and Dragon were able to get through to the peach grove. Press pause to write down your answer and play when you're ready for the paragraph. And for the paragraph, it says, how do the characters respond to challenge? And you would need to state what Minli's challenge is and what she does to solve her problem. So you would use boxes 3 and boxes 4 along with the quotes to help you write your paragraph.